What's up guys, Thunder Steve here, and I want to start things off by first thanking you guys for tuning in to hear what my thoughts are on what I believe to be Xbox's biggest release of the year, possibly of the generation, and that's Starfield. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. In order to truly appreciate Starfield, I think it's important to understand the backstory, not just of the plot of the game, but of how this game actually came about. So Starfield is Bethesda's latest single-player RPG, and it's console exclusive to the Xbox. The game was first announced during Bethesda's E3 press conference back in 2018, but pre-production began as early as 2012 to 2013, with active development beginning following the launch of Fallout 4 in November 2015. Starfield was originally scheduled to come to both Xbox and PlayStation up until September 2020, when Microsoft announced it had acquired the parent company of Bethesda Game Studios, ZeniMax, for $7.5 billion. At the time, that was the second most expensive video game company acquisition, until Microsoft decided to purchase Activision for a record $67 billion. Microsoft's Xbox division head, Phil Spencer, aka Uncle Phil, explained in June 2023 that one of the leading reasons behind the acquisition of ZeniMax was to prevent Starfield from releasing exclusively on the rival PlayStation console. So suffice to say, guys, Starfield has had a storied history that's now over a decade long, which is pretty impressive. Now, to get into the game's backstory without giving away any spoilers, here's the story from the official Starfield wiki. So it is the year 2330. Humanity has left Earth behind and spread out amongst the stars, colonizing a small pocket of the galaxy known as the Settled Systems. However, the pioneering spirit that drove the initial dispersion has long since faded, and exploration efforts beyond known space have dwindled. When the player stumbles across an alien artifact and experiences a vision, they cross paths with Constellation, the last group of space explorers who are endeavoring to solve the greatest mystery of all: what is out there. Now with that foundation set, guys, I'm going to jump into my first thoughts. I'm going to give you the pros, I'm going to give you the cons, and then we're going to get out of here, okay? We're all going to get back to gaming. So my first pro, guys, it feels like Fallout but in space. So are you into space? Have you ever wondered what life would be like on another planet? Do you believe there is intelligent life on other planets? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section below, because this is something that I personally follow very closely because I am very much into space. And I do without a doubt believe that there is intelligent life on other planets. And I believe we've done far more than what NASA tells us, the general population. And so this is all extremely fascinating to me. I'm also a big fan of Fallout, so naturally a game that plays like Fallout but with a space story and setting is 100% my cup of tea. Now this next pro can be taken as a pro or con depending on how you play video games. So the story is a little slow to get going, but I appreciate the level of exploration and freedom to essentially be whoever I want to be in Starfield. Like, I can pick up a side job doing security, or I can act like I'm Boba Fett and become a bounty hunter, and I can even act like I'm Han Solo and pick up gigs as a smuggler, smuggling illegal contraband. And it's not like you're limited to doing only one of these things. You can be whoever you want to be in Starfield, and that much I do appreciate. It's set up in much the same way that other open world games are set up. Think, Fallout, Assassin's Creed, GTA, Red Dead, etc. It's your choice how fast you want the main story to unfold. So another pro is that the soundtrack just fits really well. During the beginning story moments of the game, I'm walking around outside in my spacesuit, and the music reminds me of the opening theme to the movie Apollo 13. It sets you up with this feeling inside that tells you that you're about to go on this epic journey through space, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a really good feeling. Whether it's the title theme or landing on a planet for your first time, the soundtrack helps to lift that experience to an even higher level, and that's ultimately what great soundtracks do, right? Like, what would Indiana Jones be without the Raiders March theme? Or Back to the Future without the Power of Love? Or even like Beverly Hills Cop without the classic Axel Foley theme? Powerful soundtracks can do so much for the entertainment medium, and it's clear to see which movies and which video games value it, because much fewer today value the importance of a soundtrack in comparison to like when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s. So I really appreciate the soundtrack. I think they did an excellent job. Now the next pro, guys, is the combat. Combat is quite fun and fluid, and I look forward to like any time I get to break out my weapons in combat, and Starfield has no shortage of weaponry to loot from your enemies, buy from a variety of different shops, and even arms dealers. But like any Bethesda game, it doesn't stop there, because you can unlock all kinds of different mods for your weapons, from laser sights to stock handles, scopes, larger magazines, you name it, it's all there. Another pro is the skill tree. The skill tree feels as good as Fallout's perk system or better. It's still early on, but I always enjoyed the perk system in Fallout, and what Starfield does, in my opinion, is employ its own badge, kind of like patch system, like the patches you would see on an astronaut. And I appreciate the detail they put into the patch system, right down to like the artistry and design of each patch. It's pretty cool. I think you guys would appreciate it. Now the character creation was entertaining, and it was actually quite simple to edit your character while offering an array of options. Of course, I wasn't able to create a character who has my mustache. However, there was a facial hair option that had my mustache, but it also came with a huge beard, and that's no can do, amigo. That was unfortunate, but where I found the most enjoyment was in choosing what my character's background story was going to be. There's 21 different backgrounds for you to choose, and they represent your character's previous life experience before you start your Starfield journey. Each background comes with its full description and abilities, or should I say perks. I chose the Space Scoundrel background for my character, who I named Wyatt Earp. The description reads, good, bad, whose right is it to say? If there's anything you've learned traversing through the galaxy, it's this. Space may look black, but is really one shade of gray. And fittingly, the Space Scoundrel's starting skills is pistol certification, piloting, and persuasion. Like, does that not sound like Han Solo to you guys? It's clear to see the amount of detail they poured into this game. There's tons to do and see. There's lots of reading, listening to characters, picking up side jobs, choices to make, main missions to follow. The game is honestly chock full of content. There's truly a lot to see and do in Starfield, and it can be overwhelming for some, but I would just say, like any big open world game, try and take it slow. Alright guys, now we're going to talk about the things that I didn't really like so far in the game. The first thing is that the story starts very slow, and it does require you to have faith in the developer that there will eventually be a story to enjoy. However, the good news is, guys, that this is Bethesda, and I do have faith, so just keep that in mind. Another one is you need to prepare yourself for loading screens. I purposely left the loading screens in the footage that I'm showing you guys so you can get an idea of what to expect. The good thing is that the loading screens, they don't last very long. They're 5 to 10 seconds max, but they can feel frequent at times if you're going in and out of buildings or going from indoors to outdoors. Just know that there will be a loading screen pretty much anytime you do that. Again, I don't forget where I came from as a gamer. We've dealt with some crazy long load times throughout the years, so dealing with 5 to 10 seconds is not a big deal to me. Another con, guys, is the menu system. The menu system takes some time to get used to, but don't let that stop you from having a good time. Once I got used to the menus, I simply felt like they were a little clunky. I think it just boils down to there being a lot of moving parts in the menu system. Like you've got your star map, your ship, your missions, inventory, skill tree to choose from, and then you have more menus once you click on one of those menus. So just take a deep breath and commit yourself to learning the menus so that you don't slow yourself down. Another con, guys, is when I first flew in my spaceship, I didn't think that in order to travel to my destination of choice that I would have to press the start button. Go to the star map, search the star map, which might I add is huge, so it could be a tad daunting for some players, but hey, I'd rather have a huge daunting map than a small map, right? But from there you have to choose where you want to go, and basically the only way you can travel to other planets is by going into the menu, choosing the star map, finding your destination, and then pressing X to land. You don't actually land the spaceship yourself. A cutscene will take place where you land on the planet. It's not the end of the world by any means. I just didn't think it would take me having to navigate the menus more than space itself. And my last con, guys, is the graphics, okay? The environments are solid, not terrible, not great, but solid. Sometimes they look bland and sometimes they have some color. Like Mars truly looks like Mars with the burnt orange, reddish dirt and sky. Character models have a lot to be desired for though. You may have heard this in other reviews or throughout social media, but they definitely look last gen. But in my opinion, last gen wasn't so bad, right? So for me, the NPCs are not going to make or break a game. Like, would it be cool if the NPCs looked like the NPCs in Horizon or God of War? I mean, totally, but that's not going to determine how much enjoyment I get out of this game or any video game. So there you have it, guys. Those are my first thoughts on Starfield. Now, Starfield is the type of game that requires plenty of game time before delivering an official review. So in order for me to do my absolute best for you guys, the viewers who trust my opinion, I'm going to need to fully immerse myself in the Starfield universe. So look for that at a later date. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like the video, drop a comment because I'm interested to hear if you've played Starfield, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as it helps me out a ton. Thank you guys, and I hope you have an awesome day. What's up, guys? If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button as it helps me out a ton, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Over here to the left, you can find all my social media info, or just remember to search for ThunderSteve85. As always, thank you guys for tuning in, and remember, you're never too old to play video games.